Well, good evening everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. Hopefully you'll find it all really interesting. It's been good fun to write and to think about utilising all my knowledge and experience as to what I think the three biggest mistakes are that you're probably making with your wardrobe right now. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll see where we go. So let me just check. I can see plenty of you already here, but I'm expecting a few more people, so I expect they'll kind of drop in as we're going along. So here are a few housekeeping rules for those of you who've not joined me before. You're going to be muted throughout the presentation, so I can't actually hear you, but hopefully you can hear me. Please let me know if you can't. I don't know how you're going to know though, but if you have a question, please type it in the box on the right hand side of the screen, and at various points throughout the presentation I'll stop and answer those questions. So you know, if something pops into your head as we're going along, then ask the question there, and I'll come back to you and hopefully answer those questions, and if not, I'll try and get back to you tomorrow if I haven't had time tonight, but hopefully we'll be able to do that. But it does make my life an awful lot easier if you get involved. So, you know, as I say, please ask some questions, because it's much better for me if it's interactive, and I know that you're out there listening. Okay, so let's move on. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Gail Morgan, and I've had the privilege and pleasure to be an image consultant, personal stylist and trainer for over 20 years. Basically what I do is help women who want to feel more comfortable and confident in their clothes, and I do that by simplifying the art of getting dressed. So there are lots of different tricks and techniques I can teach you and talk to you about, and just about how just to make it easier, you know, because we all have that, you know, worry in the morning as to what we're going to put on that for that day, and I think there are so many simple, easy ways to make that better, simpler, quicker for you, and hopefully a lot of the stuff I'll go through tonight will help you with that as well, because I do spend a lot of time rummaging around in clients' wardrobes, and because of that I will be referring to these experiences quite a lot during this webinar. But what I'm going to do tonight, as you might have guessed, is I'm going to look at the three mistakes that you are probably making with your wardrobe right now. Because, as I say, that's what I see all the time, and because actually until you solve these problems or mistakes, it will be almost impossible to create that elusive capsule wardrobe that you read about, that GOP talks about, and perhaps even extremely difficult to even find any clothes to wear. And towards the end of the webinar I'll also be introducing my brand new style program, which is called The Wardrobe That Works, which is designed to help you create a wardrobe that works for you in just 8 short weeks. So before I go into what each of these mistakes are, I'm going to start by looking at some of the problems that I encounter when I'm working in other people's wardrobes, which are actually linked to these three big mistakes I see. So what is a capsule wardrobe? As I say, it's a term that's kind of bandied around, but what it actually is, so this is my definition of it, and you know, this is just a quick, simple kind of definition, and I could expand it further, but really what we're looking at here is a small selection of clothes that complement each other and that can be interchanged or mixed and matched. But what it also does, because they complement each other, because they work together, it also allows you to change the way that you wear these clothes, so you can actually wear the same outfit with a slight tweak, maybe a change of accessories or a slight change of top to different events, and it can actually look different. So when you've got these core basic items in your wardrobe, it's amazing how versatile your wardrobe can be, and how it can take you to lots of different occasions and events without much, you know, as I say, maybe just changing the odd accessory here and there. So again, obviously this is kind of like a great aim to have for your wardrobe, and it's actually, as it is a small number of clothes, you don't have to have a massive wardrobe to have the versatility that you might strive. But when you're first maybe starting a new job, or you're returning to work, or maybe you've lost a lot of weight, you need to buy quite a few clothes to cover you for those eventualities, you're basically starting again. If you can build it around this capsule wardrobe concept, it really will make a huge difference. And later on in the webinar, I'm going to show you a sample of sort of a few garments that you could put together that would constitute this capsule wardrobe. Okay. So there's, we're looking back at the 20%, 80% rule, and it works in all sorts of areas in our lives, as we know. But in the wardrobe situation, it's been found that the majority of us will wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. And so there are a few reasons as to why, this happens. And obviously over the years, I've kind of looked into this and kind of worked it out. But really what we're looking for here is that those favourite items, those clothes that we wear, all of the time, they tend to be that they're the right colour, so they're a good colour for us, or a flattering colour, or we really like them. They're the right style, so they flatter our body shape. They're the right style for our lifestyle as well. Most importantly, we've had compliments when we've worn them, and sort of, people who've just sort of said that without thinking and said, "Oh, you look good today." So it doesn't seem like it's a forced compliment, it's absolutely genuine. The clothes make you feel good, whatever that might be, or you feel comfortable when you're wearing them, because that's a great thing. If you feel comfortable and it almost feels like a second skin, then you're going to want to go back to them again and again, aren't you? Or it could be that they're clean and ironed, and so they're the easiest thing to grab first thing in the morning. But basically they're your favourites, and these clothes it's probably because these clothes are easy, because you know that they work. You can put on, you've got your favourite outfits that you kind of just go back to. They're the safeguard outfits. But you see, until you've had, it could be that you could create more outfits from those garments, but if you haven't had time to experiment and play around with it, then you're going to miss out on the opportunity to find those garments. So actually, with a bit of preparation, you could find some new options and some different options which would really help expand your wardrobe and also, give it a bit more interest perhaps. So what are the implications of having a disorganized wardrobe? And as I wouldn't say that the wardrobes I look at look like this picture, but some of them are not far off it. But the majority are better, are definitely better than this. But how could you possibly find something to wear in there? It would be an impossible task. And absolutely, you're going to say, I've got a wardrobe full of clothes and nothing to wear, because you'd never find anything. So by not having this organised and or coordinated wardrobe, it means that you're going to forget about items. And these items, and again, this often happens, by the time we get to the back of a client's wardrobe, we find the most beautiful coat or the fantastic jacket or a great skirt that they'd actually forgotten about, and can be almost like a mainstay and a key piece for their wardrobe going forward. So, if you've got all this mess, then you're never going to find those things, and you've forgotten about them. If you have got a disorganised wardrobe, as I was saying you could look boring, because you're always pulling out the same clothes the whole time, because you can't get to the back of the wardrobe. This usually is, this is the result of some panic buys, again, because potentially you can't find anything, but it could be that is your modus operandi, and this is how you do shop, is that you panic buy. So there's no kind of, so you've got lots of individual garments, you haven't thought how you're going to put those garments together to create outfits. So you can be, this panic buy might also be that you go mad and you might buy something completely out of character that you later regret, and again it just sits in the wardrobe. And sometimes I even see that people have bought something beautiful. It could, I've seen lots of kind of sequin skirts and sequin tops in the past that look absolutely gorgeous, but there's nothing in your wardrobe that will work with it, so it just sits there gathering dust, which is really a crying shame. And again, if you've got no kind of organisation in there, or you don't know what you've got, you will tend to repeat buy the same thing again and again. So, you know, how many pairs of black trousers do you really need to have in your wardrobe? You know, just think about that. How many, you know, do you need in a week or a month to wear? I can remember one lady I saw, and Julie, and she had, I must have been, oh, I don't know, 30 white tops, and they were all very, very similar in style. And, you know, and I sort of said to her, well, why have you got so many things? You do have a washing machine, and it is possible for you to, you know, you don't need so many of the same ones. So let's get rid of the ones that, quite frankly, are looking a bit tired, and so that we can just keep the ones that are fresh and cleaner. Because we do tend to hang on to some things if we're not careful, and if we don't know that they're there, we just repeat buy again and again. Okay, so now we come to our 3 big mistakes that you're probably making in the wardrobe, I'd say right now. So the first one is not using colour properly or using it badly. So it could be that you've got too much or even too little colour in your wardrobe. If you've got too much colour in your wardrobe can become just a series of outfits, as it's very, very difficult to coordinate because it's like an explosion in the paint factory. So there'll probably be quite a lot of confusion, and in an attempt to kind of create these outfits, there's probably going to be a lot, and I mean a lot, of handbags and shoes to coordinate with each of these outfits. So it's almost like you've got little sections where you can kind of create one little outfit, but you can't see how you can mix and match everything very easily because they're single kind of items all over the place. So it makes life very difficult for you to coordinate. Oh, and if you've got too little colour in your wardrobe, again, it could be seen as a bit boring with no variety, and it's probably going to be based around neutrals, which I'm going to come back to later on. But neutrals tend to be colours like black, grey, navy, camel, or white, or brown. So this can make your life very simple, and you know, if you wanted the very simplistic way of creating a wardrobe, then just wearing 1 or 2 colours would do that for you. As I say, you might get a little bit fed up of it, but you know, there's little choice, but in theory, as I say, there is again little chance of making mistakes. And it could work that if you add interest with different fabrics or textures, that could, you know, alleviate some of it so that it does look a little bit more interesting. And it might appeal to a classic dresser as well because of that simplicity. And I can remember way back, and I must have been about 13 or 14, one of my teachers, and she, you know, wore just black and tan the whole time. That was her wardrobe. And it was, you know, we'd always, as girls, we'd kind of look at her and see what was she wearing today and how she'd done that combination. And it's, you know, something that's just stuck in my head all these years. And any of you know Mary Smith, who is the Facebook marketing expert, and she kind of had a USP, and she became known as the woman in turquoise. So again, quite a difficult colour to wear all the time, and probably not from head to toe. But you know, any photos you ever saw of her, she would always be in some shade of turquoise. So you know, there are ways of utilising this if you can find a great colour that works for you. And it was a really good, flattering colour for her as well, and kind of appealed to what she was trying to sell and her bubbly personality. But you know, again, it goes back to the, you know, how many turquoise tops do you need in your wardrobe, because it could end up looking a little bit boring. So just be careful with that one. Okay, and the second big mistake is no plan. As you can probably tell, I wouldn't say I'm a big planner, but it does help to really organise your wardrobe if you're working from a plan. And if you don't have a plan in your wardrobe, it usually means, as I've kind of alluded to earlier on, that you're going to have what I classify as lots of orphans in your wardrobe. So individual garments that are looking for a family, looking for a friend, looking for someone to coordinate with, but they're all kind of individual, distinct items and garments that really don't actually work together in any sort of easy format. So the people who don't have a plan, their wardrobe is going to look a bit messy, a bit like the picture we saw earlier on. And these people usually buy on impulse, in desperation, or purely on price. So they act a bit like a headless chicken and are always tempted by a bargain. So, you know, if you haven't made a plan, you are just running round in circles the whole time, and it's just how you can then create those outfits and put something together and not have those individual orphans looking for a friend. And people who are without a plan, well, they'll be the person, as I say, with the wardrobe full of clothes but nothing to wear. And this is usually because they don't know what suits them, whether it's the colour, whether it's the style, what shape or what pattern to go for. So as I say, they go on a panic buy, or they go mad in the sales, but they ultimately end up with lots of individual garments that don't work together. And this can actually be a very, very expensive way of working. So although they are buying in the sale, if they don't actually wear those garments, then they are a very expensive way of creating, you know, of shopping and of putting clothes together. And then the third big mistake is hoarding. So if you're making the mistake, if there's just too much stuff in your wardrobe that you're keeping just in case for what? And you know, very often I'll see people who've sort of kept their old work stuff, but actually they've not gone back into that work environment. They've had their kids, it's 5 or 6 years later, but they're kind of holding on to their suits in the you know, and they might still be able to fit back into them, but they're never going to look the same if they then go back to work, and they may well be going back to work in a different environment, so they don't actually need that suit anymore. But one way you can do that is to just use the jacket. Maybe wear the jacket if it's suitable with a pair of jeans, or you know, so you smarten up your jeans. But and then even, you know, you could wear the skirt or the trousers with something else. So think about how you might, sometimes you can split the suit so that it works. And the other thing about just in case is keeping things for best. So you might have a fabulous jacket, a fabulous suit, a great dress, but it's under the wrapping of when it came back from the dry cleaners, and it's only ever been worn to one event. And you kind of think, well, I'll just keep that just in case, but actually just get some wear out of it, use it, wear it, because that event or that just in case event might not come around for another 3 or 4 years, and you might not like it by then, and then it's just sat there when it could have actually been worn and had a few outings, and you know, you could have loved it and enjoyed wearing it. So if you are hoarding stuff in your wardrobe, you probably can't see the wood for the trees, and it's therefore little wonder that you can't actually create any new outfits. So, you know, in an ideal world, you should be able to open your door, the wardrobe doors, and know that you could wear everything that's in there at that particular point in time that day. Not all at the same time, obviously, but it's right for the time of year, it's right for you, it's right for your colouring, it's right for your lifestyle, so that you've got choice when you open your doors. And if you've got clarity and you can see some space in there as well, it allows you to be able to put outfits together and put garments together. So you don't need anything that's out of date, out of season, dirty, tatty, or just plain old, cluttering up your space. You need to have that to be nice and fresh. And most clients say that once we've done a wardrobe weed, they feel like they can breathe again, and they actually feel excited about their clothes because they can now see the possibilities of what's there, which wasn't easy to see beforehand. And then I've done a sneaky little extra mistake, which is that there's no accessories in the wardrobe. So those of you who know me know how much I love my accessories. so I couldn't leave this one out. Because accessories are the lifeblood of a flexible and interesting wardrobe, because they're a simple, easy way of adding colour, pattern and texture to a plain outfit. And if you're going to invest in anything, it's always great to invest in accessories because they will outlast your clothes numerous times. So investing in a great bag, a great pair of shoes, a necklace, a scarf will last you for years and years. So keep that in mind and look at making sure you do have some accessories to add that interest to your wardrobe. Okay, let me just double check whether we've got any questions. Nothing just at the moment, so that's great. Okay. Okay. So how do we solve these mistakes? Now that we've found them, now that we know what they are, how do we solve them? So all the questions, and here we go. So with colour, obviously, I work with people to find out what their personal colour characteristics are, to find out the group of colours that suit them. But even if you don't know that, think about the colour families and how colours work together. Whether, I would look at whether a colour is warm or, so that means it's got a yellow sort of undertone, so that's going to be corals, golds, oranges, rusts, browns, tans, creams, those sort of colours. Or whether a colour is cool, so it's got more of a blue undertone to it, so that could be greys and pinks and purple, some purples, some bluey greens, silver, black and some navies as well. So you've got much more of a blue undertone there. But all the different colour families work best together, and so that makes life a lot easier if you're trying to coordinate something, if you work within that colour family. And that's how you can start to build your capsule wardrobe as well, because if these colours blend and tone and sit beautifully together, then it makes it an awful lot easier to do that. So as I say, if you've had your colours done, you'll understand this, and as part of the Wardrobe That Works programme, we will look at personal colour and which colours do work well together, so that you can start to group the garments that you have together, and then from that you'll be able to pick the most flattering shades for you. However, what I wanted to do tonight was look at neutral colours. So the neutral colours in your wardrobe, these are going to be your building blocks and form the basis of any capsule wardrobe. And this is because lots of colours will mix with a neutral, even if they aren't part of the same colour family. So neutrals, as I said before, are going to be black, grey, navy, brown, camel, white, tan. The colours that go with lots of other colours, and so they almost act as a base for those colours so that you can mix with them. So you would want to have a maximum of three of these colours in your wardrobe. The vast majority of us will already have these items in black anyway, but black isn't always the most flattering colour for everyone. If it's not, if it's not your best colour, if you're not what I would call as a winter season, then it can be quite a hard colour to wear, but good as a neutral to have to mix your other colours with it, as I said. So when I start working with a client and when we're starting to create their capsule wardrobe, we want to use one of their neutral colours, and if possible buy most of these items in that one colour, because then any other colour you put with it will actually work with it. So for me, I would build my neutral wardrobe around navy, because as a summer colouring, I would use navy and grey as my two main neutral colours, especially in the winter. So I would build and hope to have all of these items in navy, so that then I could put, so if you look at all those items we have there, if I've got those things in navy, then if I decide, right, I want to have a pale green jacket, I could wear that with my navy trousers and my navy vest top and my navy shoes, and it would work. If I wanted to add in a colourful blouse with different colours in there, then I could wear that with maybe the jacket or the cardigan, and then with the skirt. If I've got a dress in that colour, which actually I haven't listed there, I've just noticed, so you could also have a dress in the neutral colour, then again I could put a colourful cardigan or jacket over the top of it, but it would still work with those neutral elements. Now so it might seem a little bit boring when you first start out because you want to have this, but this literally is how a good functioning wardrobe would work. Because if you haven't got these key elements, it goes back to that piecemeal orphan items all around your wardrobe that have no continuity and no way of linking together. So once you have got these basic items in your wardrobe, actually then creating outfits from them becomes so much easier, because you can know that you can add those other colours from the colour family that will work with it. So if you've got all of these, this works really, really well. And so the easiest way to create a minimal capsule wardrobe is to work around 2 neutrals and potentially 3 or 4 other colours. And actually this is the perfect way to pack a suitcase, which I'm going to cover in my next webinar, which is actually on the 24th of June. So if you want information about that, then just pop over to the Image Trainer website and book up now. But it is, it does make life really, really so much simpler if you have got these neutral colours in there, because then you then start to build your wardrobe around these neutral colours. So as I said, it could be in a dark brown, it could be in a camel or a tan. In the summer it could be based around white. Obviously it could be based around black or grey. So, if you have those items, it really does make life really easy. Okay, and then the second, solving the mistake of having no plan. As I say, everything comes together if you have a plan, hopefully, and it's no more desperate searching in your wardrobe, chucking out garments, trying to find things at the bottom of the wardrobe, delving in the ironing basket, trying to find things, because all is calm in your wardrobe and you know what's there. And as part of the programme, we'll also be looking at creating a number of wardrobe charts so that you can actually plan outfits from your existing garments, and even pin them up on the inside of your wardrobe door so that you can go to the wardrobe and say, right, I'm going to have outfit number 3 today because I'm meeting so-and-so, and this will work fantastically. So if you have no plan, here are some suggestions as to help you to start to create that plan. If you are working within a colour palette, this will immediately help solve the problem with this, because you're not going to be tempted to go away from these colours. If you're just working within a small group of colours initially, but then developing that on to work within the same colour family, everything will work so much better. Because you will only buy those or look at those clothes when you're shopping. But it also cuts costs because of this, and decreases the number of shoes and bags that you're going to need to buy to coordinate with all your different outfits. Also, if you understand your body shape and the styles of clothes that suit you, then you'll become much more discerning when you're shopping. And so the plan actually comes together also almost by osmosis. And then knowing your personal brand, or by that I mean knowing how you want to be seen, how you want to be perceived by others. It also, again, helps you become much more discerning, because you can reject garments that think, well, actually, you know what, they're really not me. I really don't think they're going to fit into my wardrobe. They're not part of the plan. I'm not going to buy it. So you can become very kind of firm in that situation, and so that you stop buying willy-nilly. Shopping trips, therefore, as I say, will become much more successful, and once you've cleared the clutter from your wardrobe, you'll actually be able to plan your outfits and see what's missing. And if you're prepared, there won't be that panic of what to wear to a special occasion, because actually you probably already own something that's suitable, or know exactly what would work that you could add into your existing range of clothes that you have. Okay, and then the third mistake is the hoarding, and you might think that this might be the easiest mistake to solve because you could just throw everything away. That's probably a bit rash, but unless you've done some of the prep work that I've just discussed, you could be floundering in the dark and may even end up discarding something fabulous if you just decide to throw everything away. But one of the easiest ways to sort out your wardrobe is to create 3 piles of clothes. And these are the ones that I would sort of recommend to kind of go with. So you might want to take notes here. So we've got, and give yourself time to do this properly. You know, if you can send the kids out for an afternoon, you know, hopefully with your partner, not to run across the road, but you know, get the house to yourself for an afternoon or a couple of hours, then you know you can do some work in your wardrobe. And this time of year is actually a really good time of doing it because we're moving from winter into summer, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. So the reject or retire pile, this should be the easiest one to fill up, if you like, because these are all the clothes you know that you shouldn't be wearing any longer because they're too old or they're out of date. They may be tatty. They might have, you know, be badly stained. Maybe they've seen better days. And again, it's back to that you haven't worn it for over a year. Because there's only, even if they're things that you've kind of loved, you know, and that's probably the reason why they're a bit tatty, because they've been worn and worn and washed and washed. It's, you know, it's best just to kind of move on. But if you've, you know, and some of them may just, you might just look at them and go, well, they're just not me anymore. You know, and we've all been there and we've all had them. But lots of these garments, as I say, may well have been favourites, but we've just kind of outgrown them. Or we need to look for suitable replacements, because if they have been well worn, you know, maybe you need to get a fresh version. But you know, you need to think about it. You don't need these clothes cluttering up the space that you have in the wardrobe. You know, we want to have current, flattering clothes that you're going to love and enjoy wearing now, not harking back to a previous time. And you probably aren't wearing many of these clothes anyway, so getting rid of them, as I say, will only create space for the new purchases and or allow you to see what you've got. You may find some what I call sentimental clothes in there as well. So if there's an outfit or a garment that brings back great memories, or it's your wedding dress, which really shouldn't be in your everyday wardrobe at this point, or bridesmaids dresses, or all those sort of things, or the outfit you wore to your children's christenings, you know, if they've got sentimental value, then pack them up, put them in a suitcase, put them in a vacuum bag, put them away in the loft, or put them on a high shelf, because if there's something that you're not going to wear every day, as I say, you don't want them cluttering up the space when you open the doors every morning, because you want to see what you could potentially wear that day, not your old boob tube from the 1980s or 90s. You need to have something that you're going to wear now. Then we have the recycle pile. The first pile probably is mostly going to be charity shop. There probably isn't much that you'd want to pass on to anyone, so that's where they'd go to. The recycle pile is really for, these are clothes that are going to suit someone else much better. So they're probably good quality, and or you've hardly worn them, and maybe they could go to a friend. You could sell them on eBay or a dress agency. So the reasons you might reject these garments, it might be that they've still got their labels on, so you know they obviously weren't right for you. They don't fit, or they're the wrong size now for you, or they're the wrong shape or colour when you know which is right for you. And I mean the really wrong shape or colour, so that there's no way that you can kind of rescue them. Because usually when you know which colours suit you, you can rescue some of the colours, some of the clothes. But if it's a really bad colour for you, then it may well be that you prefer to recycle them and maybe get some money back for them. Because that's the great thing about it. If you are any good on eBay, you could get some money back to go and spend on the clothes that you are going to love and enjoy wearing. And then lastly, we have the retain pile, which is, you know, what you want to be putting back into your wardrobe. And these are the garments that you love to wear and that you know you look good in. They fit you and they make you feel fabulous. But there is an extra pile within this one, which is called the repair or revamp pile. So these garments will need altering, repairing or cleaning. So they've got potential, but they need the stain removing, the hem sewn up or the buttons changed. So do make sure that you do this, and then they can go into the wardrobe as well. So if you can do this, so remember to go through this process with all the clothes in your wardrobe, but then don't forget the ones that are in the drawers, on shelves, in cupboards, and then all your accessories as well. And then you can organise the clothes in your wardrobe to garment type, and if possible try and have as many clothes visible so that you can actually see everything. So that comes to storage. So get some decent coat hangers. The best ones I've found are the velvet ones from Primark. They're about £4 for 10, and they're usually by the tills. So they've got this velvet kind of covering on them. So if you've got a silky blouse, they won't fall off. And they're also quite slim, so they're not going to take up as much space in your wardrobe as the wooden coat hangers would. But with lots of knitwear, you really want to fold the knitwear, because you don't want, if it goes on coat hangers, very often you'll get them marked where the coat hanger has poked out. And also jeans and things like that are usually better folded rather than hung up. So just think how you're going to store your garments as well. And the next thing I would also say is to take anything out of your wardrobe that's the wrong weather season. So as I say, that now, and in the UK we're having a little bit of, well, at least in southern UK, we're having a bit of a little heat wave at the moment. So we're all, well, I'm certainly panicking, thinking, oh, I haven't got my linen trousers out yet. But you know, if in the next couple of weeks, it's a great time to sort of move over from having all my polar neck jumpers in the wardrobe to bringing out the linen sandals, so that you know, you don't want to have you know, your thick woolly jumper in the wardrobe during August, because it's pointless having it there. It can just be put in a box at the top of the wardrobe or in a bag. Because a lot of our clothes we can wear all year round, because we live in centrally heated or air conditioned environments. It's not that we have to have completely winter outfits and completely summer ones. So, you know, we can get a lot more wear out of our clothes. So again, you know, do this 3 piles exercise before you move your clothes, you know, your winter clothes away, because you may well be able to get rid of some of the garments at this stage, so that you're not hanging on to them over the summer months, and then when you come back in September you're going to have, you know, a whole fresh new clothes almost to look at, because it'll be clean, literally, it'll be fresh, it'll be new for that. And you know, and all of this as well, that when you've done these 3 piles, it means that you've cleared some space, you can see what you actually own, but equally you can see what's missing, so that you can plan your shopping list, so that when you do go shopping, you're not doing the headless chicken kind of act, because you do know the sort of clothes that you're looking for and what will fill the gaps that are missing in your wardrobe at the moment. And then the fourth, as I say, my little fourth mistake is the no accessories. But once you've sorted your clothes into colour families and you've created some outfits, choosing the right scarf, necklace, handbag and even lipstick will be easy, because you'll see what you need to mix and match there. Okay. Ooh. Hang on, it's going to look very scary. Okay, so we're now going to look at creating a capsule wardrobe. As you've seen, in order to create a capsule wardrobe, you need to clear away the clutter, make a plan, and then you can build a selection of versatile and flexible garments based around the colours and styles that suit you. So if you're working within a small colour group, you can create this flexible wardrobe and actually have more choice than if you had lots of different unmatched pieces. So what I've put up here, which as I say does look a bit scary when you first look at it, but it's a basic business wardrobe, so that if someone, say, was returning to work and you needed to have sort of formal work clothes. This just gives you an idea of the sort of things that you could be looking at having in in your wardrobe that would give that versatility. So there's not many actual garments there. I just worked that out. There's probably about 15 garments, if that, there. But you can mix and match them in different ways that you can make it look different every day. And it's always worth investing in more tops than bottoms, because that will make your wardrobe and what you wear more interesting. So I put 3 jackets there. And if you do need to be suited and booted, then having a jacket, skirt and trousers to all match and be in the same fabric would be really, really important, because you can get more versatility. And again, it would be in your neutral. So in the black, the navy, the grey, the dark brown, the camel, whatever would work for you, then you could do that. But it doesn't necessarily mean, if you're not in a very suited and booted place, then it could be that your jacket is a smart cardigan or a softer jacket, so it's not a very formal jacket. Maybe it's got some texture or some pattern, or it's a different colour. So it could be even like a waterfall cardigan or a smart jackety type cardigan. So what I don't mean by that is having something that's knitted and kind of fair isle. You need it to be smart. It still needs to have some sort of semi-structure to it. Then you've got 5 blouses or tops, again mixture of patterns and plains, a couple of skirts potentially, or a couple of pairs of trousers, whichever's your preference. But as I say, if you can get one that matches the jacket, if you need to be suited and booted, then that's important to look at. And again, the dress in a neutral colour would be good. So your jackets, and apart from your neutral jacket or cardigan, then I would look for some colour in there. So choose one of those, a couple of your colours, and use that with your jacket. Use the colours in your blouses, or the pattern of the blouses, or the top, and you can see how you can start to build that capsule wardrobe. And then again, add in some scarves, add in some other jewellery and the handbag further down, and then shoes. So again, depending on whether you're going for trousers, skirt or dress and the time of year, then look for the court shoes, the boot shoes, the boots in a neutral colour. And then to finish it off, have a coat or a raincoat in a neutral or a striking colour. So if you know your colours and you want to really do something a bit different, then a fantastic raincoat or mac in a red or a blue or a pink or an orange would look amazing if it's right for you, and would always attract comments for all the good reasons. So hopefully that's kind of given you an idea of how you would structure. It's just thinking, just get a couple of bottoms, a couple of jackets or cardigans, and some blouses or tops. And actually, if you play around with those items, because if they're all within the same colour group, it's amazing how you can create a number of different options. So your lifestyle or job role might not necessitate lots of suits, as I've said, but you could substitute the formal jacket for something a bit more casual. So how could you adapt the theory here for your wardrobe? What would work for you? Because it's important to remember that your wardrobe is unique, and that and you understand that which garments are right for your lifestyle, your budget and personality, so that you then can build a wardrobe that works for you. And as you would expect, we cover all of these aspects, so the colour, the style, the lifestyle, etc., and all the wardrobe mistakes on the 8-step Wardrobe That Works programme, as well as lots of other things and loads more. But before I go into detail about the programme, I just want to check that whether we've got any questions. Let me just see. Oh, this is really interesting. Thank you. Thanks, Melinda. I've also got one here from Liz. So she says, I love a sale bargain. Are you saying that I shouldn't shop during the sales? No, that's not what I'm saying, Liz. If you know what you're looking for, shopping in the sales are brilliant. But so often, especially somewhere like Next, you know, when they've got all this stuff out in Next, it's and you see everyone looking through every single garment on the rails. It helps you become much more discerning. So if you know, especially if you know the colours, but if you know the sort of styles, and again you know the lifestyle and the type of garments that are going to work for your wardrobe, it stops you being tempted by that sale bargain. So you can become much stronger in your opinion and also in your knowledge, and know how it's really going to work for you. So yeah, and Kate says, I've got some dresses that I'd like to keep for my daughter. What should I do with them? Well, like I said, it's probably best to kind of pack them away because you don't need them in your everyday wardrobe, because it really is important that, you know, the stuff that's in there you could wear today, and it's not sort of cluttered up with other stuff. So even if they just go in the loft in a you know, a vacuum bag for now, they'd be much better for her later on. Okay, let me just, there's nothing, no other questions at the moment, so that's great. Yeah, okay, so I've done that. Sorry, missed that one. Okay, so just to explain a little bit about the Wardrobe That Works. So this is a program that I've created, which is all about creating a wardrobe that works for you, your body, your lifestyle and your budget. And it's been designed to help women who are fed up with wasting time and money on disastrous clothes and want to take control of their wardrobe once and for all. I constantly see clever, competent and amazing women defeated by their wardrobes. And I just wanted to put together a simple and affordable process that would allow them to understand their clothes and increase their confidence. So how it works is that we've got 8 modules. So this is an 8-step program covering all the essential elements that you would need to know, so including your personal style, colour, shape, fashion trends, accessorising, underwear and swimwear, how to manage your wardrobe, a bit about grooming, and then how to shop successfully. So as you can see, all of the topics are kind of listed here on the slide. So, you know, just to pick out a couple of things, so laying the foundations, understanding, you know, the clothes, where you are now, where you want to be, and, you know, this stage is really important because you kind of understand your personal style and what it is that you want to your wardrobe to do for you, literally. Colour, as I've talked about, but again we'd look at the different colour families. We'd understand how to build the wardrobe around the colours, and, you know, and how to find those colours, because, you know, different shops will sort of look at different colours as well. Look at body shape and the shapes of garments that are going to flatter your body shape. Accessories, you know, I love, so how we can, you know, use accessories to individualise our wardrobe and to create and expand our wardrobe as well. Underwear and swimwear, absolutely vital, and you know, because if you're not wearing the right underwear, nothing you wear is going to look that great, because you need to, you know, everything needs to be supported in the right way. And then wardrobe management. So again, a bit more about how to create your capsule wardrobe, but working together to do that. And as I say, getting a plan of campaign, getting some structure, using a wardrobe management model to really, really understand how you can create those outfits from the clutter. And then successful shopping, so how to shop, you know, quickly, effectively, and get the clothes that will work for you. And working, you know, and understanding the gaps and where to go shopping, and so, you know, which shops are going to be right for you as well. And the finishing touches, so we're looking about personality, style personality, but also about grooming, so, you know, makeup and the use of makeup, and hair, and lots of all the other bits and pieces. So, you know, as you can see, it's kind of like a really comprehensive program. So how the program works, there are 3 elements to the program. So how it works is that it's got spread out over 8 weeks. So we'll have a module to study, to learn, to implement every week over those 8 weeks. And because of the Easter holidays, unfortunately, I have to delay it a bit, because I know people will be busy, but it's just knowing when this is going to start. So the first module is going to be available on Tuesday the 22nd of April, and then you have a week to work on that module to, I hate to use the word do your homework because it's not going to be onerous, it's going to be great fun. The first module is enormous fun. It involves a lot of cutting and sticking, so it's back to primary school days. And then on we then have a Q&A call to discuss the module and each week and your changing wardrobe. So the first call will be on Tuesday the 29th of April at 8 p.m. So that's 4 weeks today. And so they'll be held at the same time every Tuesday evening until the 17th of June. But if you can't make the call for whatever reason, that's absolutely fine, because they will be recorded and they'll be stored so that you can listen back to them as and when you wish to. So if you can't make a call but you've got a question, then you can put that into beforehand and I'll answer it during the call. And then there's also going to be a private Facebook group to share your successes, to share your questions. So if you've got a sort of emergency wardrobe dilemma, then you can always post it in the Facebook group and I'll be there to answer questions regularly, and also you'll be able to work with your peers and the other people on the program with you. So they can become your virtual support team just as much as I can, and doing any program like this is so much stronger with the team that you're working with. I know I've learned this way in the past, and it makes it a lot more powerful because you're also accountable to them as well, and it helps boost you and keep you moving along. So they are the program is, I'll go back to that. So the program, as I say, is spread over 8 weeks so that you aren't overwhelmed. So the topics are broken down into easy to digest, manageable chunks that you can study in a couple of hours a week. And before the first module is released, you'll be sent a link to access the private website where all the modules are going to be stored. So as I say, each week you'll be able to watch and read some information and make it work in your wardrobe. So utilise the elements within your wardrobe and do that, or say almost your homework, but complete that before the group Q&A call. So these weekly calls will be really great and invaluable because you'll learn while you're there, you be able to share how you've implemented your new knowledge, and it also gives you the opportunity to interact and learn from the other people on the programme just as much as what you're learning. So by approaching your wardrobe transformation in this supportive way, it's such a fantastic way you'll be able to learn at a steady pace whilst knowing that in less than 2 months you'll have created the style foundations for the rest of your life. So as I say, the first Q&A call will be on Tuesday the 29th of April, but you can register now and then you'll receive the first module when it's released on the 22nd of April. So I'm sure you're waiting with bated breath because you saw what the next slide's going to be. So how much is this program going to be? So in the future, it's going to be priced at £159, which I think is still a mere snip when you consider the number of bad buys or mistakes and clothes that you have hanging in your wardrobe that you've perhaps never even worn. However, what I'm looking for is 25 pioneers who are going to join this pilot program and get their wardrobe sorted before the summer holidays. So the cost to these 25 people will be just £99. So you're going to get all the modules, all the support, and the hand holding really to take you from where you are at the moment to a wardrobe that really does work for you, and you'll just the understanding you'll have about the clothes that will work for your body will be amazing. But I also have a VIP offer which is available just for 5 people, and this is going to be £149, and this includes an hour-long one-to-one Skype call with me, and we can discuss colour, style, whatever you want to cover at that point. and it can include sort of mini colour analysis if we can do it online, so that you will have that as part of it as well. But it's really your time to spend with whatever and any questions that you might have having gone through the process. So obviously you get, that's just, it's not an addition, that includes the £99, so you're just paying an extra £50 for that part of it. And so if you're looking for that additional support and advice, then that's where to come for that. And then as even a bonus prize for the first 10 people who sign up, which is a great prize and will help transform your wardrobe. I'm going to keep it a secret, but it is worth doing, so think about that one as well. So that's for the first 10 people who register for either of the programs, and it's guaranteed to make a difference to how you dress in the future. And so if you want to find out more information, then please go to the website, to this special page, which has got all the information on there. So if you can write, it looks like a load of old gobbledygook, but honestly it will get you there. I will include the link to this on the follow-up email, which you'll get following this webinar, which will have a link for the webinar as well. If you missed the beginning of the webinar and you want to replay that, then that will be part, I'll send it to you on an email. But if you want to go to that website, then that will have all the details there. Or obviously if you want to call me or email me, then you can do. And let me just check to see if there are any other questions. Okay, yep, I've got one here. So how will the Q&A sessions work, from Sarah? Then really how the Q&A sessions work, to a certain extent it depends on the people who are on the programme, because I will be led by you and the questions that you ask. But I will do a bit of teaching, probably a bit of learning that will be there as well, which will come up purely from how the discussions that we have. But I foresee it as being a really fun sort of session, as I say, having been through very similar, for a completely different topic, similar process. We learn from each other, and how someone else asks a question or is coping with their wardrobe dilemmas really makes a difference to, will help you think through the whole topic as well. So that works really, really well. Thanks very much, Gail. Thanks, Jules. And yeah, that's about it. So let me just put that. If anyone's got any other questions and I've missed you out, I'm really sorry, but if you put a question in, I can always check back later and answer them for you. So just to recap, there are 8 style modules over 8 weeks, which will be released starting on April the 22nd, and they're there to help you create the wardrobe that works for you. And the first Q&A call is going to be on Tuesday the 29th of April, so that's 4 weeks today, and they'll be weekly until June the 17th. As I say, if you're away for half term or you're away for whatever reason, we always will record those calls so that you can listen back to them later. And then, as I say, we can ask questions during these calls and through the private Facebook group. So really what I'm looking for is to help support people through the whole process, so that that they can work together, they can enjoy the journey, and it's so much nicer and if you're doing it with other people, and have that support there. So without further ado, I'll wish you good night and hope to catch up with you soon. Bye for now.